Hey, Steve Zook, welcome back to Poke Suit Channel on the Guitar Letter System. Hey, I'm showing an Ibanez, I think it's AF 95 RW. These are really hard to find, and I've had some of them that sound great, and some of them sound kind of blah. So actually today, the title of today's video is it easy to find a high quality, good used guitar? The answer is no. And I'm not just saying this to try to sell my stuff. I really don't have much stuff for sale. I'm a very small dealer. I worked my ass off to find the stuff that I find. I've been buying and selling guitars for 40 years at least. And, guitars vary greatly from guitar to guitar. I recently sold a couple guitars to a guy named Dave back east who really, he's a composer, a successful guy. He really appreciates what I bring to the table and really gets me. He understands how hard I work to find high quality guitars because most guitars are very average. They don't ring out. Good example, even this guitar. Now that's unplugged. Let me get this just a little closer. A lot of great arch tops don't have any ring, hardly any ring at all or any mid-range unplugged. And that ring really helps the guitar to have a voice even plugged in. What am I looking for? Anyway, that's the point. See how it has that ring? That's not even plugged. This guitar is insane. But let me talk about some of the things in finding a great guitar. And the great guitars are few and far between. I've said it a million times. I think some people think I'm just full of bullshit. That's fine. I'm not. I really have the experience. I mean, I've sold millions of dollars of guitars, and there's no better teacher than that. But there's a lot of things. If you want to find a great guitar, the bottom line is the sound, really. But you want to make sure that the neck is not too severely bowed. It's not twisted. If it does have too much bow, is that going to be correctable with the truss rod? The way that the neck goes into the body is a huge one. The angle the neck goes into the body. Like this guitar, for instance. Let me just get a tad more volume. This particular guitar, like the neck and the feel of a fretboard has a lot to do with how the neck goes into the body. And when they really nail it, it just feels good. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like picking up a really nice old Gibson archtop electric guitar, whether it's a 335 or an L5 or a 175 or whatever. This guitar, the feeling of the fretboard feels just as good to me as any guitar I've ever owned at any price. Am I the cheapest guy to buy a guitar from? No. I need to make a little money for my time, and the people that understand that are going to get a much better guitar. You can't just find a great guitar, folks, by doing a lot of internet research and what this guy said and what this guy said at this forum and what this guy said. And if all the guitars out there, used guitars for sale, are so great, why don't they make a video of it? Well, one reason is because they're lazy. Also because they feel like it's not going to show the beauty of the guitar. This guitar just sounds beautiful. It's got such beautiful mid-range and bass. A great guitar doesn't have to have a solid top, by the way. I have one guitar for sale right now that is all solid wood. It's a Super 400 size guitar. I've dropped the price from 4,700 all the way down to 2,600. There's only 3 in the world. It's an Alvarez rare, but what I'm trying to talk about, finding a great used guitar. Obviously, the intonation wants to be nice. That can always be adjusted. But I think the most important thing on finding a used guitar is the sound. Hear that? It just rings out. It's got warmth and woodiness and warmth. But it's also got clarity. Bichord, contrary motion. So, it's hard. I don't want to go into a bunch of detail because I don't have the energy to explain, but I'm not just, I have a very small inventory. I take my little humble guitar business really seriously. Most of my stuff's on my Pokesue channel. But a guitar has to be something that I'd be proud to have, that I would be proud to own, or I don't buy it. And like I said, if you're always looking for a guitar with your wallet and looking for the cheapest guitar, you're just going to get, most of the time, you're going to get a piece of shit, The great guitars are few and far between. That's why I have a network of thousands of people that I keep in touch with, studio owners who I've done work with my CD as well as some studio work, producers, songwriters, engineers, entrepreneurs, all kinds of really cool people. And they have a guitar to sell. They call me. They know they have to leave a little meat on the bone for me. Leave a little room for some profit. But they know that I'm going to pay better than a pawn shop and pay better than a music store. But the bottom line is, I just want to emphasize this point because I think a lot of people just don't understand the effect of marketing. There's so much manipulation in terms of marketing and branding. The average person doesn't have a freaking chance. They really don't. Good example is D'Angelico guitars. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not an okay guitar, but if you read the ads, it's like the soul and spirit of the old D'Angelico guitars. Well, that tells you right there that they're full of shit, because you take an old brand like D'Angelico, one of the finest arch tops ever made. If you find a good one, there again, because I've played some for 60 grand. They're like, But I mean, the bottom line is you take an old brand like D'Angelico and you put a new name on it. And you make it in China. And, a lot of great guitars do come out of China. But my point just being is that I feel like a company like D'Angelico is really greatly leveraging off the brand. I'm not saying the guitars are junk. Some of them are probably pretty good, But I'm talking real value. To get real value in buying a used guitar, you got to know what the hell you're doing. And it's hard. You can't just go to a bunch of forums. You can't just read this and read this and read this and then, okay, I'll get this, Because one of them that you might buy might be okay. One might be, maybe not ring out hardly at all. Even Chet Atkins said, the great guitars are few and far between. By the way, phrasing in single notes is so important. I hear some of these heavy metal players, and I like people like Yngwie, and I enjoy his playing. To me, he's a stronger composer too. But so many people just blaze through a lick a million miles an hour. It's so metered, And when you slow down and you play certain parts of a lick, in a different way, it adds a fluidity and a liquid air quality to it. But anyway, what I'm just saying is that when you're looking for a used guitar, bottom line, it's got to have the sound, you know. And if somebody's selling a guitar and they don't even have a video of it, then, you know, that kind of says a lot. You know, that's why all my guitars I sell. And by the way, lately, like I said, I've had a lot of people buy guitars from me, and they're just like so happy, and they get it. They understand that I work hard to find great guitars, because you know, marketing is just gonna, you know, make you think that, oh yeah, as long as you find this brand and this model and this, it's gonna be fine. But there's so much involved in that too. Just like this guitar, I think they made some of these for trade shows and artist endorsements. Some were just made normal. But this guitar just, you know, you can hear, and I hardly have any volume. You get the definition to that bass, those bass notes. That's a great warm-up, by the way. This is the augmented riff. Maybe go to the 7#5 once in a while. But anyway, you know, obviously the pickup should work, the tone and volume should work. Another thing really important to check is the input jack, because a lot of times it has a really bad connection. Sometimes you need to get a new input jack. Sometimes you just need to spray it with WD-40, go in and out 40 times with the cable, you know. But the bottom line, folks, is sound and voice. And it takes, you know, that's one of the things I'm really happy about all the years of being in the guitar business. It's been so interesting to try different guitars and hear the voice of the guitar. This seriously is one of the best sounding guitars I've ever had. I used to have a 62 Gibson ES-175, real 62 vintage, the same year that Joe Pass used to play, and I studied with Joe Pass for a while when I was young, and I like this guitar better, I really do, and I can do this guitar for $1,000. You know, it's just, you know, it's voice, a kind of orchestral balance between the bass, treble, and mids, and kind of has the ring, and kind of a holographic quality. This guitar has some Gibson L5. This is flat 5. Isn't that great? Now listen to the quality. This says it all about this guitar right here. Listen, that's a solid state amp too, by the way. I paid $100.50. So you play that chord. That chord's basically a, it's a dominant chord with a flat 13, and I think it's got a sharp 9 in it too. And every chord, by the way, has many different names depending on the reference point, and you can't get hung up on that. I know I'm making a lot of points today. One of them is Joe Pass used to say, you know, don't always be thinking. That's kind of the core of my guitar letter system too. You got to get out of your fucking head. If you're always thinking about stuff, you're not going to be a very musical player. But of course, then you do my chordal studies in the guitar letter system, maybe, and when you do the chordal studies in my guitar letter system, you don't think, you just play and listen, let it soak into your subconscious. Then you go back and you improvise every day, maybe utilize some of the 10 systems of improvisation. I've got a video about that on YouTube. But anyway, this flat 5, and the whole thing is about getting a little more modern to your playing. Don't be so damn predictable. I used to do guitar trade shows and bring like 60 guitars and buy and sell guitars, and people used to line up and listen to me play, and a lot of them were pretty good players, but they'd even said, well, I feel like I'm too predictable, you know. And I thought, well, that's really, takes a lot of maturity to realize where you need to grow, and it's a constant growth. Everybody's constantly growing, including me. I recently hurt my left arm and shoulder. It's getting a little better now from doing way too many dumbbells and too much guitar playing. If you do dumbbells and weight training, do really light and just make sure and rest up. Don't do it every day, and maybe once in a while have a couple day rest. But isn't that nice, that flat 5 in there? Here's the same thing. That nice modern sound. But the guitar ladder system is about discovering your own unique musical point of view, and it really works. But you can't fight me. You can't fight the material. You can't overanalyze it. I'm not for everybody. If you want a bunch of stuff written out, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, you want everything put in a box, I'm not your guy. If you want to make real quantum leap growth, you understand about developing musical consciousness, kind of creating a guitar teacher, guitar database, improvisational database in your own subconscious mind, I'm your guy. 100 studies, video and chart. I don't send it all at once. But anyway, getting back to guitars, this guitar has such... Hear that clarity? I love this bichord. It's a major 9 and a minor 7. Works real nice with contrary motion. Anyway, so yeah, the important things to find on a used guitar, number 1 is the sound, okay? It should ring out even when played unplugged. Plugged in, it should not just be kind of just heavy, like especially an archtop, shouldn't just be heavy in the bass and just that smoky west sound. It should have an orchestral range to it. It should have clarity, warmth, woodiness, bloom. Just be musical sounding. And then obvious things like, the neck shouldn't be super warped or super bowed. The neck angle should be set in nicely. And you can feel it, like when the neck angle is right, you can just feel it on the guitar. Like this guitar, it almost feels like a, I don't know, I don't want to say flat because there is some radius to the neck, but it just feels so comfortable. And this guitar has a lot of old, really quality Gibson polychord. Anyway, it's a really nice guitar. I'll have to throw in a gig bag with it, but anyway, it's the thing I'm trying to say here, and this is not just a big sales pitch. By the way, if you send me a comment, don't send me some bullshit, useless comment. Some guy the other day sent me, the other day sent me a comment. He goes, well, before you buy more guitars, buy a new T-shirt. Like, I don't need to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Come on. If you're going to leave a comment, leave an intelligent comment or an interesting comment or a creative comment. You don't have to kiss my ass, but I don't want to hear shit like that, I don't know, man. Sometimes I've even thought about just canceling my YouTube channel, but I really dig it. I've met a lot of really cool people. But just before you open your big mouth, think about what you're saying to me, okay? Most comments are pretty cool. Again, you don't have to kiss my ass. But I don't want to hear bullshit comments. And so I've had people get in my face, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Whatever, I don't know. I'm just about sharing joyful energy. I'm about sharing the joy of musical consciousness and developing your musical consciousness, the joy of playing guitar, the joy of finding a great guitar. Bottom line, folks, it's hard to find a great used guitar. It's not easy. And you can't just, look at a bunch of research and think, okay, well, this guy says this guitar is good. Because people email me all the time or send me a message. And, well, what's better, an Ibanez this or D'Angelico this or a Washburn this? All depends on the individual guitar, folks. But this guitar here, his punches way, way, way above the price. Anyway, I love this bichord. See, then the bass goes down, the treble goes up. 4 chord, major 13, flat 5, 13, 13, 13, 13, major 7. My flat 5. Then you got partials. But if you really want to grow as a guitar player and you can let go of the control and let go of your ego, just go to steves@guitars.com or spend the $199. Order the guitar letter system. It's gonna completely open doors that you'll never open by yourself, and that's not arrogance. I've been doing this a long time, folks, and it's really I hate to say it's a steal for $199, but it is. I've had people drive over 200 miles and pay me $100 a lesson for private lessons. I don't have a lot of time to do that, but you know, like I said, if you're looking for in the box, long theoretical discussions over analytical, you know, I'm not your guy. But if you understand, it's about waking up your musical ear, and that's what's nice about the 100 studies is you learn those different improvisational tools. You know, secondary dominant, intervallic, symmetry, diatonic, chromatic, common tone. Common tone's a big one because you can take one note, just share that note. But the guitar ladder system will open if you trust it and don't analyze it and don't pick it apart and don't then let go of your ego and put your ego on the back burner, let go of the control. Let me steer the freaking ship for you a bit. You know what I mean? Now, sure, you can sit down at like, you know, like you might want to say you decide you want to work on, you know, like, you know, 2, 6, 5, 1 or something in the key of E. So you'd have. See, I don't really think that way. There we go. So, you know, 1 chord would be E, 6 chords, C sharp minor. But then it gets interesting when you start adding subs. And then maybe moving from there. If you stick with one system of improvisation, your playing and your writing is going to be boring as hell. I know I'm being a little bit blunt today, but I just get tired of you know, I get tired of holding back my personality. I'm really usually the kind of guy when I go through my day where I meet people, I engage them, I help them feel positive. I've been doing transcendental meditation for 37 years. I pick up on a lot of stuff when I meet people, and I met a guy yesterday, and I never even met him. I just go, you know, I get a really scientific, educational vibe from you, but also a friendliness. He goes, well, you nailed it. He goes, I'm a doctor of education. And we had a really nice talk, and when we got done talking, he goes, "Wow, you made my day." I think some people are just happy that somebody reaches out to them, you know. But anyway, this is sure a nice guitar. But anyway, it's really hard to find a good used guitar, and like I said, if whoever's selling the guitar is too lazy to even make a video of it, well, maybe there's a reason. Maybe it just doesn't have the ring, you know. And it still sounds that good. Anyway, bottom line is, you know, it's really hard to find a great used guitar. I have a very small inventory. I don't buy a lot of stuff, but my stuff is really worth the money. It may not be the cheapest, but it's special, and that's not bullshit. Listen to that tone. Flat 5 in there. My arm's just a little, my right shoulder's still a little sore. You can really hear it nice there. Anyway, this guitar is just crystal clear. I just love the sound of it. It's just so clear. to stop right there. But my point just being today is I just want to make the point again. It's really hard to find a great used guitar. It's got to sound good, most important thing. It's got to sound good unplugged too. It's got to have some ring to it. It's got to have, pretty good intonation. You can always adjust that. The neck can't be really, the neck has to be adjustable. And the neck set, the angle of the neck is set into the guitar has to be in the money, although there's variations on that too. In fact, I read the other day some of the old Strombergs and D'Angelicos, I'm talking ones that are worth 50 to 200,000 or more, actually were set with a little bit more of a negative neck angle. There's so many components. The minute you think that you're a major expert, I'm always learning things, and it's never ending. I love this diminished. Here's my A, by the way. Anyway, this is such a nice guitar. I should probably just keep it right. By the way, here's one of my favorite chords. I know I'm all over the place today, so what? With me playing guitar, my YouTube channel is about freedom, so, if the most intelligent comment you can make is, go buy another t-shirt before you buy a guitar, I don't want to hear it, okay? Keep your boring negative thoughts to yourself. I know I'm being a little blunt today, but I'm just in the mood to be that way. Last night I went to a Del Taco, and some guy a guy who works there started harassing me because I complained about the fact that I think 3 or 4 times they messed up my order on a new item that they had. And the guy's harassing, one of the workers there is harassing me, and I'm just looking at the guy like, are you crazy, I could have blown up and lit the guy up and got really loud, but I figured, not worth it. I'm just like, I told the guy, I said, man, you shouldn't be harassing a customer. Are you kidding me, But, it doesn't always pay to blow up and get crazy and get too loud, and things can get out of hand, especially in today's world. So, I don't know. I could call corporate right now and probably get the guy fired, but I'm just going to let it go because I understand his point of view. He was frustrated because the manager yelled at him, but it's not my fault, I tell the guy, dude, you fucked up, He goes, yeah, but I only messed up one time. Somebody else messed up the other orders. Like I need to be engaged in that conversation. I don't know, man, but that's kind of where my metaphysics come in. Like there was a time when I just would have started yelling at the guy right then and there, but that could have gotten weird, right? So I just kind of said, dude, you shouldn't be yelling, you shouldn't be harassing me. I'm the customer. Are you kidding me? And one of the other employees is like, man, I'm really sorry about that. I love Del Taco though. I love you can go there for $3-4 and get some food. I love that chord, the dominant 9 chord, then you flat the 9. That goes nice to the bi chord, major 13, flat 5, major 9/6, major 9/6 chord with a 7 on top. Anyway, so like I said, nothing takes it. Talk to some guy who's been playing guitar for 30, 40 years. He'll tell you nothing takes you. Nothing can replace experience of playing a bunch of guitars. But finding a great used guitar is really hard to do. The great ones are few and far between. Most of them get snatched up at the factory, or most get snatched up at the music store. Some guy that works there plays it. And, oh man, this one's special. It's true. Great guitars are hard to find. Musical guitars are hard to find. And if somebody really believes in the guitar, they would have a video of the guitar, not just talk about it. This guitar punches way, way, way above price. Like I said, I'll take $1,000 for this guitar. Anyway, take care. Let's keep the positive faith. I know I rambled a little bit today, so what? And again, if you're going to send me a comment, I know this is going to make somebody want to send me a weird comment. It's all right, I'll just delete you from my channel. But prefer, you don't have to kiss my ass. I just prefer an intelligent comment. Or if you're, kind of new to all this, you don't have to have a sophisticated comment. It can be a simple comment. Just have some positive energy to it, okay? That's all I ask, Just be yourself and be positive. I don't want to hear bullshit. All right, guys, I'm too old for bullshit. Take care.